Hey guys, welcome back to Outdoor Instinct. Today we have another ultimate ice fishing rig update for you guys. I have done something to my four-wheeler to help me enjoy my time on the ice a little bit better. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so you saw the basket and the chains got put on the four-wheeler. The chains work great in the snow and slush. We have some slush here in Minnesota. So we got a lot of snow the last week. And we haven't had a lot of cold temperatures yet to help freeze that up. But there's some cold weather rolling in, so hopefully that'll take care of that. But so far, my sled has been getting some slush and snow in it and other such debris. So I've added a snow flap, mud flap, whatever you want to call it, a debris deflector, whatever. I've added a rubber flap here to my basket that I built to help knock down all the snow and slush that these chains throw up, because they're just so aggressive. They throw everything out behind the machine. And I had a chunk of rubber laying up on the shelf, and I saw it one day, and I thought that would work great for knocking down snow and slush and stuff to help keep it out of my sled and out of the basket, which holds my rods and that kind of thing, minnows, and my buddies, when they come with, they throw their Vexilars and locators in there. So it just thought it'd be nice to help keep some of that stuff out of there, to keep all that stuff from freezing up and keep it in a lot better shape, take care of it a lot better. So all I did is, it has this mesh on here. So what I did is I took and I drilled holes in the rubber, a couple inches, about 6 inches apart or so maybe, and then I just zip tied it onto the mesh. I figured that'd be the easiest way, and then if I didn't like it, it was no big deal to take it apart, and I didn't have a whole lot of time into it, bolting it on or whatever, self-tapping screws. You know, it was just zip tied, so I can run along with a snipper and cut them off if it didn't work. But yeah, I just drilled holes in the rubber about 6 inches apart all the way across, and then I zip tied it in those holes to the mesh, and then I cut it to length, and I left a little bit stick past the basket there, because as you guys can maybe tell here, hold on, let me smooth around. As you guys can maybe tell, the basket is just a little bit narrower than the four-wheeler itself, and the tires actually stick out past the fender just a little bit. So I left the rubber a little bit long to hopefully try and catch some of that extra that would fly back into my sled. Hopefully this works well. I'm really hoping that it'll catch and knock down the snow. But yeah, so I just added this rubber flap. It's solid all the way across. I didn't cut it anywhere, just like mud flaps or anything. I left it just all the way across, try to leave it as big as possible in case it doesn't work out. And if it does work out, I'll probably just leave it how it is, because it works fine. But what I did here in the middle is I got these two braces coming together here to help hold it together onto my ball and keep it secure onto the four-wheeler. So what I did is I took and I drilled holes here and here and here and here, and I ran zip ties and zip tied it to this tube. So that way the rubber, hopefully, like if I get into some deep snow and I get stuck and I have to back out of it, hopefully the snow doesn't grab that rubber and just rip it right into the tires. You know, hopefully those zip ties will help keep it back out of the tires so it doesn't get caught and get pulled up in there and then get wrecked or ripped off or something like that. So that's what I did there to hopefully help try and keep it back away from the tires a little bit, because it's pretty close, actually. When you look at it, it's pretty close to the tires. I mean, it's just a couple inches away right here. You know, once you get going forward, it'll probably lean back just a little bit, but it's actually pretty close right there. So I did that just to help try and keep the distance in there, hopefully a little bit. If I have to add something to it later on to help hold it back even more, I always can. But I just did this for now to see if it really does work as well as I'm hoping it will. And then I had a little bit left over, actually, from cutting it to the width of the four-wheeler. And what I did is I just took and I added little flaps right here, because this fender stops a little bit high, and the basket continues down further. So I just added a little rubber flap right there. Did the same thing, just zip tied it on the top, right to the mesh, and I just zip tied it right there. It'll hopefully help keep some more of that slush and snow out of my gear that's in my basket. Primarily was what that was for. So hopefully that works as well as I'm thinking it will. And hopefully it doesn't cause any problems for anything. I did stop below the taillight just so if I do, if I don't have anything in here and I do hit the brakes, then then they'll still be able to see my taillights illuminate, and they'll be able to recognize that and stop before they hit me or something, even though typically when you're on ice, you shouldn't be following that close anyways. But if they are, then hopefully there's a little bit of a heads up for them. But yeah, so this week's ultimate ice fishing update is, this week's ultimate ice fishing rig update is the rubber flap behind the tires to help keep the snow and slush out of your gear. So hopefully that helps as much as I'm thinking it will. I don't know yet. It can't hurt, but we'll see. We'll see how well it works. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one, guys. Be sure to check out my other videos, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for stopping in.